is SMLV Tarot, and I'm here with another pick a card. But before I start the pick a card, I just want to go over a little bit what I've been feeling, I've been channeling. Maybe somebody else out there needs to hear it too. But I don't recognize myself from a year ago. These past 2 or 3 years have been really difficult for me. I had to undergo a complete transformation in order for me to be the person that I am right now. I don't even recognize who I am, like from who I was like a year ago even. This year has been a lot of breaking down, like, and tearing away at old habits that don't work for me anymore, and I have to push myself in a new direction. I had to completely reroute my direction of where I was going in life and my thought process and who I was, because the person that I was and what I was doing and what I believed and my self-esteem, everything, I completely just 180'd. And it's very, and I don't feel like I'm the only one that's experiencing this, because I feel like at the end of the decade there is not, like, it's like almost like a wrap up, like whatever, like we have to wrap up whatever it is so we can be on our way to our next journey or phase in our life. And I know a lot of people have been going through a lot of transformations and, you know, letting go of old habits, and that stuff's not easy. Transforming oftentimes is accompanied by some painful experience and some painful realization that you had to come to in order to make the transformation happen. And it's just a lot of, it's just so much work, and it's just so much heartache and reliving trauma and digging up old wounds and having to face yourself in the mirror and having to look at yourself, and it's really difficult and it's a lot of hard times. So I thought maybe this pick a card, you know, we'll do something a little lighthearted instead, you know, like maybe like some good news that's coming to you, because I'm kind of exhausted. Like, I feel like I've exhausted a lot of my energy, and I know I can still keep moving forward. It's just so, I feel like we're all just so tired because we've gone through so much. It's rewarding and it's fulfilling to see, you know, where we were, who we are now versus who we were like 2 or 3 years ago, a year ago, a couple months ago. And it's like a lot to process, but it's rewarding. But at the same time, you know, we're tired. You know, we want, you know, some peace and calm and some good news for once, because transforming, going through this transformative periods, like I said before, is very difficult, very hard, dealing with a lot of harsh themes. And I thought I'd be like, you know what, we need a break. We need to hear some good news. We don't need to always, you know, even as you're working towards your goals and stuff, we don't always need to beat ourselves up and continue and continue and continue and just never stop and never take a break and just breathe. So that's what I hope this pick a card does for you guys today. And so this is going to be pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and I'll give you a moment to just, you know, look at the cards, pick one that you think is right. If you have a number pop into your head, you know, that's good too, to pick that one. Whatever you pick is a message that you need to hear. But obviously, if you don't resonate with something, you don't need to just let it fly. Doesn't apply, let it fly. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm gonna be going into pile 1. Hello, pile one. I did 6 cards today. Just wanted to do shorter reading. I usually do 9. But if you notice, you see these 2 cards are the same, the 4 of Cups. And I have 2 different decks that are like the same deck, but they have different color schemes. But I thought I'd use them today because sometimes when 2 cards come out, it's a greater emphasis on that message. And the 4 of Cups often, in this deck, it means rejecting like offers or rejecting past situations or temptations. And I'm feeling like this group, this number 1, you've been on a really treacherous path, a really difficult path, and I feel like you guys want to scream at the universe that, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to go through these hardships? And you've been through a lot. I think that this pile, this group of people that pick pile 1, I have the Hierophant here, this number 5 card. You guys have been rejecting traditional values, and I'm also getting like that you've been rejecting your own beliefs, like you've been uprooting a lot of stuff that you previously believed in order to find emotional peace. And that's what this Queen of Cups is about in the upright. Emotional peace. You've been on a really treacherous path, and it seemed unfair, this Justice card and this heartbreak. I don't think that this was something that was easy for you guys to do. It is really difficult to choose a path where you're going against your own self and other people as well. It's like when you make changes to your life, you're not just changing the outside, where you live, or your friends, or the people that you hang around with, or your job. You're fighting your own inner beliefs, and that is what you have been doing. You have been resisting temptation to revert back into old ways and old cycles and old beliefs, and you've been fighting traditions. And that's why this Hierophant is in the reversal, because you've been fighting your own traditional thoughts, traditions that other people might have placed on you, and then your own beliefs that you might have had since you were a child. And you've been doing that so that you can achieve emotional peace, because you guys are going on a very treacherous path. This path is difficult. The path that you chose for your life might not be the easiest thing for anybody to choose, because it's riddled with heartbreak. And when you choose your own destiny, sometimes you see how other people react to it. You see how people's true nature, and you see how vile sometimes people can be. And it just seems unfair, this Justice card in the reverse. It just seems like the universe is against you, because it's like you're trying to maintain inner peace, but it just feels like everything is working against you. And that's why you have to try so hard to fight off this temptation to go back to your old ways. A lot of you have been also fighting addictions to sex, addictions to drugs, addictions to alcohol, addictions to people, codependency. You've been fighting yourself. You've been fighting yourself and other people too. You've been fighting, it just seems like you guys have been fighting against and going against the grain to achieve, this Queen of Cups status. And, the Three of Swords here is often about heartbreak, but it's also about the truth. And the truth, the cold truth, the plain and dry truth is often sometimes just it's so raw and cold and just straightforward, and it bends no direction, and it just is just so straight and dead on. But the thing is when the truth is revealed and you recover from it, it's like it gives you power in a sense. And after fighting all this heartbreak and standing in your truth, you come out stronger on the other side. You have more emotional peace. You're a different person than you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, however long. And it seems like the world is against you, but the universe never wants to work against you. What the universe is doing for you guys is eliminating a lot of these and trying to shed away a lot of this stuff that's holding you back. Your own temptations and your own past ideas and your own traditions. That's what it's trying to hold you back from, or trying to shed away from you. And that's not hard. And when you're in that kind of phase of your life, it feels like the universe is against you, and it feels like people are working against you, but you don't see how you're holding your own self back. You don't see how the things that have happened to you were for the greater good. You don't see how how you can be destructive to your own self. But you're doing the right thing. You're avoiding temptation, and you're being strong, and it's riddled with hardships, and it just seems unfair, but the universe is not trying to work against you. And that's the hardest lesson that you may have to face for yourself, is understanding that going to the root of this situation and why this is happening, and think about yourself and your own self-destructive habits. And it might take a while, but realize that some things in your life are not needed, and that these hardships are to bring forth and to force you to letting go of these things that you have such a tight grip on, that are holding you back. Sometimes the universe has to tear things away from us in order for us to actually understand how toxic that thing that we were holding on to was. Because in the moment we don't understand, because it feels awful, and it feels like the universe is working against us, but it's not. This path is going to lead you to a more inner peace. And it's so hard. It just feels like you can't see the end of the rainbow, or the end of this journey or this pathway. You can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's there. And once you release and stop being bitter about the things that have happened to you, and understand like how much of a better person you are now because of those things that have happened to you, then you're gonna feel better about the path that you're on. You're gonna feel better about the heartbreak that you endured. You endured it. You survived. You're a survivor. This path is not easy. This is not an easy path. It's breaking down and trying to fight your own traditional ways of thinking, and your own trying to think outside of who you are and all that you've known. That's not an easy path. So try to be easy on yourself and take the time to understand why all this is happening to you, and try not to be angry at the universe, and try to be more understanding. and kind. Because this really isn't an easy path. It's not easy, and you're allowed to get mad. Just let yourself be angry, be frustrated. Just let yourself exist and be more understanding of the things that are happening to you. Because you're doing the right thing. You're a better person now that you've gone through all this hardship than you were before. I feel like a lot of you guys have also seen things that you probably wouldn't have seen in yourself if you didn't go through some kind of hardship. Because you needed that hardship to see. You needed to see yourself. But that's all I'm getting for pile 1. I hope this helped you guys out. And I do make pick a cards every week or so. I try to be on time. Sometimes I'm not. I'm susceptible to energies and stuff. But yeah, and if you want to book a personal reading with me, I have my email in the description box, and we can go over rates over email. I'll email you my rates. And yeah, thank you guys. Hello, pile number 2. Alright, so go over the cards really quickly. It is the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, the Moon, King of Diamonds, 6 of Diamonds, and 7 of Cups, or Hearts, but Cups. I'm getting that, coming to the end of this decade, we've trekked a long journey, and it feels like a lot of you have had to constantly go against some kind of barrier. It feels like there's always been some kind of, I don't know why, I'm getting this kind of feeling like I've always had to struggle, and now I don't have to struggle. Everything is okay. Like, are you sure? And you're just so unsure about it. You're so unsure about your path because it's like you're so used to fighting everything that now that everything's calm, you're unsure, and that's what the moon is about, and not knowing what the future will hold because you're so used to having to move forward and progress and fight and challenge yourself, and now you're just like, whoa, what do I do now? With Justice and the Wheel of Fortune here, I often, when I get these in readings, is it's like you're doing the right thing and you're on the right path. And that this is like your good karma. You're doing the right thing. And with this King of Diamonds here, it also talks about spiritual maturity and spiritual peace. So I think you guys really have been on a long, treacherous journey of a lot of heartbreak, a lot of disappointment, a lot of looking at yourself, a lot of going back and forth with yourself, a lot of failure, a lot of, just a bunch of that. And you guys are used to that. I feel like you guys are so used to the struggle and the pain and the severity of and the cruelty of life that you're honestly astonished that you've reached kind of like this end, because it feels like you guys have completed something, or that you're sitting where you need to sit basically in your life. Like, you feel like you've done a lot of work, and now it's really time for the universe for you to kind of just sit back and kind of go with the flow of everything, if that makes sense, or just not anticipate that something is coming up around the corner and trying to get you. And that's also what the 7 of Cups in reverse is you really don't know what to expect or what is to come next for 2020, and that's okay. You don't always have to know where you're going or what, how it's going to happen. Even if you're an intuitive, even if you like doing tarot cards, you don't always have to know what's coming up ahead of you. You just gotta live life and exist and enjoy the peace, because you guys have apparently worked for this peace. And with the six of Diamonds is 6 of Pentacles in the traditional tarot deck, this is about giving and receiving, and I feel like this is going with the flow of the universe, and you don't know what's going to happen because you're just like going and you're letting yourself kind of just go, and maybe that's not something that you guys are used to, but you're doing the right thing and you're on the right path and you've done a lot of work, and I'm congratulating you. Congratulations. You guys are probably not the same as you were, 1 or 2 years ago, a month ago, 5 years ago. You've gone through a lot of stuff, and now it's time, to relax and enjoy and reap the success that you have. Don't worry. And that's what I'm feeling is with this moon and this 7 of Cups here is like, what's the catch? What's the catch? What's the catch? What comes? I mean, you guys have already been through a lot of bullshit. So there's the catch, I guess, if you wanted a catch to begin with. But there is no catch to your own inner peace and to just enjoying the fruits of your labor and having a peaceful phase in your life. Just enjoy this. Maybe you're wondering, when is the next big exciting thing gonna happen in my life, and challenging, adventure basically. And you don't know, but enjoy the peace, because you've worked for the peace. You've worked really hard to finish up this phase in your life. So this is very much go with the flow. Let the universe take care of you, because you've done a lot of the work in the physical and the spiritual. You've done a lot of work. So put all your frustrations and your worries and your cares aside, and just let it go, breathe, and give it to the universe to take care of. Go with the flow of the universe, trust the universe. Everything is going as it should be. And don't worry about what's coming around the corner, because you're fine. You've done a lot of that anticipating stuff. You don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to worry about, when's the next time that, I don't know, and what's the next big life event. Just, you need to live your life and just not try to anticipate everything. Just try to exist and exist in peace, and see all that is that around you, and enjoy it. Just exist. Don't think about the future. Don't think about the past, and don't try to anticipate failure. Just let the universe take care of you. And that's all I'm getting for pile number 2. Thank you guys for tuning in. I try to pick a cards, weekly. So if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, comment about suggestions, share this video. And yeah, I also do personal readings. I'm going to leave my email in the description box below, and you guys can email me about any personal reading questions that you might have. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your 2020. Hello, pile 3. Alright, we're going to go over the cards really quick. So we got the Tower in reverse, the Ace of Swords in reverse, and the upright. I think this is a Joker in the traditional deck, but it's the Jack of Spades or Clubs. I don't remember. But the Ace of Diamonds, the World card, the Sun, and the Jack of Diamonds. Alright, so I feel like you guys have successfully conquered a big, I want to say struggle. I don't know, with the world in reverse here is that with the World in the upright, it's usually something that's unexpected that you kind of, but I feel like you anticipated something and you properly reacted to it. Like, you saw something coming and you reacted to it in a way that kind of, you avoided a disaster in a way. That's what I'm getting. And I feel like with this Ace of Swords here, I feel like you were kind of like a hero, like in the movies, whenever the villain kind of thinks that he can get one over on the main character or whatever, and the main character kind of sees it coming, and he's like, yes, I won, I combated that, and I won against the villain, I saw it coming, and it's basically like you won a battle against people. Maybe people were plotting against you, and then you saw it coming, kind of thing, and now you're kind of like, especially with the Ace of Swords, is talking about truth, and sometimes the truth is not, always pleasant to other people, living in your truth and living in what you believe in. And so I'm getting this very much like, haha, like, like kind of main character personality, strong, like I'm gonna do what I gotta do, I'm gonna believe in what I gotta believe, and I don't care what anybody else thinks, like I'm here, basically. And with these two jacks here, feel like after you conquered this thing, that you're ready to start on a new path and, step away from, I guess, I don't know why I feel like someone tried to get one over on you and you kind of saw it coming, but and especially with the Sun and the World card, it's like you completed, I feel like a lot of you guys have gotten rid of old, because also the Tower talks about, getting rid of, it's a tower collapsing essentially, and only being left with a foundation. And it's basically like you're starting with a new foundation, and you got rid of your old beliefs and your old things, and it's not really, like, you're not really hurt by getting rid of that stuff. Like, you kind of look back and you're like, I'm kind of grateful that I had to start over again and complete this, because the world is a completion, and it's all about, and it's the nutritional, it's like the most powerful, or like the final card in the Arcana, and you've completed this, and you're at, I feel like almost like you're at the height of your power, basically, with the Sun card here, and you're ready to kind of move on and live your life living in your truth. And this has come a long way of fighting battles, of course, starting over and rebuilding everything from scratch and stuff, and you're ready to kind of embark on your new journey. That as the decade approaches, as the new decade approaches, you're ready to start something new. You're ready to go in a new direction, and you're ready to put in the hard work, because this card talks about work, but it also talks about scholarships. So if you guys have been thinking about, maybe you guys before didn't believe that you can go to school, but now that you're thinking about it, and you're like, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna pursue my dreams, I'm gonna put the work behind my dreams, I'm gonna put the work behind my goals, and I don't care what anybody else thinks, I'm just gonna go for it. You should try. Because before, I feel like maybe you didn't try, or maybe you felt like you didn't stand in your truth, but now you're like, I'm ready to be who I am unapologetically and move forward in my truth. And so you're ready to work hard for what you believe in, and work and move towards a path that makes you more happy. With the Sun, it's like that overwhelming brightness, that person. I also feel like this group of people, like, you are the embodiment of the Sun, essentially. You don't care what people think of you anymore if you did in the past, and you're like a beam of light, and you shine so brightly, you don't even care, you're just like, you're just gonna go for what you want, and you're just energetic and full of life, basically. And you're ready to move forward with that energy, and like I said before, work towards the goals that have been sitting back before maybe this previous Tower moment happened. But now you don't. Now that the tower's in reverse, you're kind of looking at it like, I'm grateful that things turned out the way that they did, and I'm ready to be who I am and follow my dreams. And I don't care if everyone on the planet doesn't agree with me. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be happy about it. Basically, you're ready. I feel like you're ready to stand up for yourself and your dreams, because maybe you didn't feel that way before, but now you definitely feel that way. You feel ready and inspired to do it, and you have the strength to do it. With the world, I also feel like the world, even though it's not the strength card, and I know that's like traditionally what strength is, but the world is also a very powerful card, and I feel like you have a lot of power behind you. You have the strength to do what you guys need to do. You aren't gonna let people hold you back anymore, because I feel like previously you might have let people do that, and now that you've gone through a lot of stuff, you're ready to do that, to do what you need to do unapologetically. You're ready to go forward with force, and you don't care. You're ready to punch through obstacles, and you're ready to be basically the superhero of your own story. And you're ready to put the work in. You're ready to, go hard and be happy for yourself. And like, you don't care how ridiculous you may sound to other people, because, they're not at the end of the day, they're not living your life, and you're ready to give yourself the world, basically. You're ready to pursue anything that you want. You feel like you have the enthusiasm and the confidence to pursue those things now, and you don't care. And that's the great thing about it, is that you don't care about what other people are thinking. And that's all I'm getting for pile number 3. I do pick a cards every week, and so if you like this pick a card, please give me a like, a comment, a subscribe, and also I do personal readings. So if you want a personal reading, please email me at my email in the description box. And thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your 2019 into 2020.